Dear viewers, welcome aboard on Panel podcast live on YouTube as usual. We're live on YouTube at Panel UG. Today, once again, I welcome you and I welcome my usual guest as he introduces himself. Then we continue. Welcome aboard, bro.
Oh, thank you. It's amber time for me again to be on the Penrain's podcast. A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whoever watching us. It is a good day. It is 29th of May 2025. We glorify the Almighty God, the Almighty Allah, and whoever believes in his or her own religion. That to some of us who are still watching this, then we are still alive. We thank you. We thank the Almighty God that whatever we have been through, whatever you're going through, but at the moment it is called life. So thank you very much for welcoming me aboard.
Today we are going to take a look at the social aspects of life in different grounds, backgrounds, different families.
Oh yes.
Yeah, let's look on the generation gap. We look on income inequality from different families and households.
Wow. Well, I've liked today's topic. It is too crucial to always understand the society you're coming from, the people you're associating with, and what is on you as your future prospect.
True.
Once again, I want to say thank you very much for all the viewers who are watching us.
Yes.
I'm called Emmanuel Wadiaura. I'm an investigative journalist. I'm a humanitarian journalist. I am a politician, a well-wisher, and above all, I love God.
Wow.
Yeah. So now, looking at what is going on in society, according to the societal upbringing of African way of living.
Yes.
Of course, now I can as well compare the way of living in Africa and maybe with the Western culture, whereby most of the African traditions have been swept away by the Western culture, in the way that most of our families, most of them have embarked on now practicing what we call Western culture. We are now on the new world order. But of course, the most big part of understanding life is how do you associate with the people.
Yes.
You are called Paul. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm called Emma. So what brings us together to associate? It may be maybe through doing this as usual podcast. You may be benefiting me in one or the other way around. Yesterday I was watching Oprah Winfrey, one of actually she's my role model in journalism, one of the best podcasts, maybe best journalists ever. I was watching his documentary, one of his sites. He was talking about how people how a dead man recommended his son for a job. This brings back to how we live with people in society. Most of us, we have lived with friends who have betrayed us. We have lived with people who don't wish us good.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, all of us, we are going to die and go. Yeah. But what great information, or what great impact are you going to leave on this planet Earth? That's why I chose to be a journalist as well as a humanitarian. So I was watching Oprah Winfrey's documentary about how a dead man recommended his son for a job, and yet he had died 10 years back. So there is one day this son had heard of a placement, of a job placement in a big company in the US. So now this boy had just finished his university and he was looking for a job, as you know how life is with the youth. So after then, when he went to that company, he went and applied. After applying, he did what? He came back and they called him for an interview. So when he went, actually he was even an undergraduate. He was doing an interview with the people who who were postgraduates, those ones with masters and what PhDs and what have you. To his surprise, when they were calling, each and everyone was mentioning his strength of his papers. So when most of them were mentioning, you know, me, I'm a PhD holder in ABCD.
The kind of experience they have.
Exactly. So now this son went in and went for an interview. And when he reached in an interview, we are looking at how the dead man or the dead father recommended his father for a job, his son for a job. So when he reached inside, they asked him, who is your father? He said, Lady Makona Smith. So when the interviewer asked that, who is your father? And this boy replied that, the late Makona Smith. Then the interviewer just asked a few questions. And they said, you're done with what? With the interview. So this boy looked so desperate that he was given only like 5 minutes, and most of his fellow guys who had come for the interview were spending like 15 to 20 minutes. So he was afraid. He went back home, and he was crying that maybe he had lost that opportunity of getting that job. And you know that job was coming with when you on that job, it had privileges like maybe an apartment and insurance, life insurance. So now this boy was looking at how he had missed that opportunity. Now when it passed 3 weeks,
yes,
the boss who interviewed that boy called him back and was like, yes, you said your father was the late Makona Smith? He said yes. He said he recommended you for what? For a job. Then the son was wondering, my father is already dead 10 years back. How did he recommend me? Then this boss told him that, do you know what? When I was still at campus, I had been chased by school fees, and my father was bedridden. He wanted only $50,000 to do what? To go for an operation and to pay for my fees. It was your late father, Makona Smith, who contributed that money to our family, so that I managed to become the position I'm in.
Yeah.
So now this boy was given a job, and he started working, and the narrative continued now moving in people's lives. So what lesson do we learn from that? What you're doing right now to your friend, what you're doing right now to the people in the world, there is a way how it comes back. So we in Africa, the only thing we can offer back to the universe is humanity. Yes. How are you loving your friend? How are you associating with the people in society? When you reflect back to the story of Makona Smith with his son, who recommended his son back 10 years when he had died, got a posh job and everything. When you ask yourself, when you die, what impact are you leaving back that your sons and daughters are going to feed on it? This comes back to our discussion of today. Paul, in life, what I realize is that never force someone to love you. Never force someone to
be your friend.
If someone cannot abide with your principles and what have you,
let them go.
Let them go. Help people as much as you can. And I want to also thank all those ones who have ever helped me and who still help me, and those ones who are willing to help me in any way. Please, may the Almighty God, may the Almighty Allah, may the Almighty who blesses you always. They always say karma is a beach. What you do today, tomorrow it will reflect back. What the smallest thing you put outside there in the world, there is a way how it comes back. So in society, let's not say that because it is New World Order, we forget how to associate with our people. Because I remember that by then, when we were still young, our grandfather and our clanmates, when it used to reach Christmas season, we used to collect all the food together, and we eat one in our granny's home, and we eat. But now when it comes today, There is what we call clan separation and hatred,
Yeah, true.
which is just like a generational curse. So when it comes, I'm appealing to all people who are watching me. I know we are living in this earth, in this universe. We are going. Another generation is going to come. But what impact are you going to leave here? Yes, please.
Now we see, when you're still on the social aspect of life, we are seeing the money economy has changed the people's mindset.
Okay.
Everyone is thinking of money, being village, being town, wherever the person is, wherever your family is, everyone is thinking of money. How are they surviving with or without money? This brings me to a question. Like, there's a scenario where people don't value what they have as money. Like these families that you raise up in the morning, you go to the garden, you plant your maize, beans, you grow your crops. Then after like 7 months, you harvest. You get some of the beans you sell. You use that money to go and grind the maize. You eat. For in your life, you don't see them as you don't regard yourself as a working personnel. This is driving to the point where we say, like, right now the IMF says a person who spends a day, who spends more than $1 in a day, is not poor.
Okay.
But these people, you find that he has spent he has cooked lunch of a kilo of what? Posho, half kilo of beans, whatever he has used to eat in the family is all made by him.
Okay.
They don't value it to money. Hope you're getting me.
I get the point.
And with this one who has gone to work, maybe in a town, and after in the evening, he gets his or her wage, or at the end of the month, they get their salary, they spend it equivalent to purchasing food.
Okay.
These people have it in mind that these things are not what? Are not equivalent to money, and they regard themselves as poor.
Okay.
But on the common standard, they are not poor.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, you find somebody has used beyond $2 or $5 for him or her to sustain what? A family. Okay. What impact is it having to this community, to the working community and to this
side?
Let me say direct to the working community. Okay. Because this is a mindset in people.
Now, thank you very much for that beautiful question. As I already shared in my first segment on a statement that African tradition and the Western culture, this now brings back to the mindset change, whereby most of us were trained to have white collar jobs, and to those ones who, that's why you see there is a trend of those people who did not succeed that much. They are very rich than those people who went up to university campus, and we are still struggling. Why is it like that? Of course, I'm going to explain your question. You know, mindset change is one of the best thing one would be having as medicine. Most of us, we are still suffering in the way that because we have been brainwashed by, I wouldn't want to say maybe by those ones who colonized Africa, but of course it is, but of course we Africans, you know that Africans are the real humans in nature. If you've ever done research, biblically, and when you do research, do you know why? Because we are wise. We are too intelligent as Africans. But now the problem is mindset. So, do you know that we have people who think white collar jobs are good, that they go and look for jobs after getting their wage salary maybe at the end of the month, and with these people whom we call maybe the lower classes, these people whom we underlook, living an average life. Do you know that those people are living a good life?
True, I know.
Because now these people, first of all, someone can, like now on an African standard, a predominant African who has his land or her land would go and dig and plant crops. And
He has his own house.
Has his own house. He's not renting.
Not paying any bill.
He's not paying any bill of electricity or water. So compared to you, okay, now like on a normal understanding, like you're earning 500 Ugandan shillings. That is almost something like $100. $100, that is equivalently too small money for anyone. So we say that now you're paying rent of, okay, you're earning every month $100. Okay, you're earning $100. That's 500,000, approximately $500,000 Ugandan shillings. You're looking at spending it at rent. You're paying, let's say you're paying rent of like let's say not $10. Okay, like of course now you're with your youth, you want to live a good life. You're paying rent of 25. That is something like 130 to 150 there. So now from there, you're remaining now with 100. You're remaining now $25. On $25, you're using transport that taking you to and fro every day. Now let's remove, you're remaining with $25. Now remove transport of what? $15. Now you're remaining with $10. So on $10, you have not counted food. You've not counted on your relatives. You've not counted on medical bills. You've not counted
all bills.
Yes. Yeah, so now this brings back to our mindset change. Let's not behave, or let's not think, let's not live standards of others. That's why me personally, actually me, a day I can spend $5. I can, in my home I can spend $5. I have my bills. Of course I will not disclose what I pay, but of course I live an average life. I'm a youth. I'm a revolutionist who is trying to at least make everything happen. So I want to say that the trend is that mindset change is disturbing most of us. That we want to live the life we see. Maybe we're watching on TikTok, the life we are watching on Facebook,
the life on the movies.
The life we watch in movies. We want to translate them to translate them and translate it to our normal understanding. Bro, that's not true. Live the normal life you wish or you want to be in. Work hard. Stop saying because it is ABCD, it is New World Order. Let me say, you go, if you have a land, go and invest, go and harvest. These things are going to help us in our normal standards of living.
I hope they get you. Mm-hmm. Another on that very scenario, there is sometime back I've been talking to a lot of people, our friends, our families, the people we stay with. They have this when you're still on the thing of mindset. They have this thing like they don't value their money to the amount of output. The labor, you get your 10K. The 10K you have got, you have worked for like a day. You have achieved that 10K. Of course, it is equivalent. The amount of output you put is equivalent to that 10K you got. Now there's this scenario. You find somebody, they are telling you, Uganda man nowadays has lost value. Has lost value. If this 10K was the Kenyan money, I would have bought a lot of things.
Okay.
But to get that 10K in Kenya, somebody can run for even a month. But in Uganda, you are getting it in hours.
Okay.
And again, so it drives me back. You find the Mzee who's telling me or you that for us in the early 70s, at 100 shilling, we used to buy land. Then they forget that to get that 100 shilling, you could work for even more than 5 years. or a full year. This mindset has come from our parents, our grandies, our parents to us, and to us we are again putting it to our kids. So it is a transition, and it's still continuing because our people are not knowing this.
Yeah. Now, thank you. Now, what you need to know is, as they already also again discussed about mindset, it is too ridiculous for a normal country like Uganda uh, to differentiate and appreciate on the currency value. What you need to know is, of course, if you got a chance and did economics, there is what we call demand and supply curve. If you can be able to know the factors that influences that, then this can drive back to our normal understanding. But first of all, this blame goes back to our government, which has not really regulated and maintained our value of our currency. If right now I can tell you that our $1 is 4,500 shillings, Ugandan shillings,
Right now.
then it means our currency has lost a lot of value. Because I remember $1, my grandpa told me in the 80s, one Ugandan shillings, $1 was almost something like 100 Ugandan shillings. So now compared it to right now, why is it like that? It is about how your government has handled the currency value. How has it regulated? You know, a country like Uganda, if you get some right now 1 million, 1 million cannot buy land right now in Uganda, even 2 million or 5 million. Why? It's just because the value of money has depreciated, depreciation of money value. But how can we regain our appreciation of our money value? It is through the government and the Ministry of Finance and other organs of the government to come and sit, reorganize and rearrange. How can we strengthen our currency? I want to apologize to our next generation that if at all we, the father of our daughters and sons we are producing, if we don't work very hard, then I don't know. I think money will be like in Sudan. Do you know in Sudan, when you go with the Ugandan shillings 10,000, you can have a lot of notes like this. Just like in Zimbabwe.
But right now Zimbabwe they have moderated.
It has moderated.
A dollar of Zimbabwe is it costs something like 3,000 Ugandan shillings.
It has moderated in the way that they came and regulated and enhanced the value of their currency. Because by the time when Mugabe was a president, when you wanted to buy a bread in Zimbabwe, you'll go with a full wheelbarrow of money, like notes. To buy just only one bread, you can go with like something here in Uganda. So this is really not good for the economy of our country. I want to I ask the government to rethink about this. Or maybe the next government, at all, if you revise and do this, then our country will come back to its set. Because now when you look at how the normal stand, because now if you talked about the IMF saying that a normal, maybe a normal person living below poverty line or earning maybe $1. Do you know that we have in Uganda we have individuals who cannot even raise $1 a day, who cannot manage even $0.3.
But what they use in a day, it is beyond.
Of course, now when you
break, lunch, supper, at least.
It's not, of course. Right. Now, that's why, of course, I said now we still have the problem mindset. Most of them, we still now reflect this back with these people from the Western culture. Do you know that in Europe, people eat funny foods? Do you know for us in Africa, we eat natural foods?
True.